At 12:59 in Rehoboth Beach, thousands of people are staring at the Atlantic Ocean and questioning their life choices. The wind is cutting across the sand, the water is steel gray, the boardwalk is packed shoulder to shoulder, and for a split second, you can feel it in the air. Why are we about to do this? Then the countdown starts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and suddenly hundreds, then thousands sprint straight into the freezing water like it's the 4th of July. If you've never experienced the Rehoboth Beach Polar Bear Plunge, it's hard to explain. Yes, it's cold. Yes, it's chaotic. Yes, it feels slightly insane, and it's one of the most powerful things coastal Delaware does all year. Our team has plunged several times over the years. We've stood right here on the sand. We've run into that water. We've come out shaking, laughing, breathless, asking each other why we signed up again, and every single time the answer shows up the same way. It's not about the water. It's about the people. The Polar Bear Plunge benefits Special Olympics Delaware. Since the early 1990s, this event has raised millions of dollars to support athletes across the state. What started as a bold winter fundraiser has become one of the most recognizable traditions at the Delaware beaches. But statistics don't capture what this feels like. What you feel first is the energy. Families in costumes, business owners forming teams, kids holding handmade signs, first-timers standing next to veterans who haven't missed the plunge in 20 years. You see firefighters, teachers, contractors, realtors, college students, grandparents. For about 15 minutes, nobody cares what anybody does for a living. They just run together. That's rare, especially in February. Summer at the beach is obvious. The restaurants are full, the sidewalks are busy, the sun does most of the work. Winter is different. Winter reveals character, the boardwalk is quieter, the air is sharper, the ocean feels bigger, and events like this require intention. Nobody accidentally shows up to the Polar Bear Plunge. They choose to. And that choice says something. It says this community leans in when things are uncomfortable. It says people here show up for each other. It says the Delaware beaches are not just a summer destination, they're a year-round community. By the way, we talk to people every week who are thinking about moving to Lewis or Rehoboth Beach, and one of the first questions they ask is, what is it like in the off-season? This is what it's like. It looks like neighbors fundraising together. It looks like kids cheering for strangers. It looks like thousands of people counting down in unison, shoulder to shoulder in the cold. It looks like courage wrapped in laughter, and yes, it looks like sprinting into freezing Atlantic water. There's a moment when you hit the shoreline, the first wave hits your legs, and your brain tells you to retreat immediately, and then you don't for some reason. You go one more step, then one more, you plunge under. For a second, everything goes real quiet, and when you come up, the crowd is roaring. You feel alive in a way that's hard to manufacture in everyday life. Cold has a way of clarifying things. It strips away distraction. It reminds you that discomfort doesn't mean danger. It reminds you that you can do hard things, especially when you're surrounded by people doing them with you. Now, here are 2 pro tips. First, if you want one of the best vantage points, head up to above the dunes. Watching from the balcony gives you a sweeping view of the beach and the surge of the crowd. You can grab a bite or something warm before or after and just soak in the afterburn glow of the plunge energy. Second, bring a small mat or a pad to stand on when you come out and change. If you've ever heard of Navy SEALs talking about being a sugar cookie, you know what I mean. Rolling around wet in the sand is part of their training. It does not have to be part of your day. A simple mat keeps you from freezing and covering head to toe in beach grit while you're trying to get dressed. Trust me on that one. Because the plunge is intense enough, you don't need the full sugar cookie experience unless you're signing up for buds. I did try it once. And that's part of what makes this whole event special. It blends grit and joy, discomfort and laughter, strength and silliness. That's the afterglow, and that's what stays with you. That's why we keep coming back. Not because it's comfortable, because it's meaningful. If you're coming to the event and you're not plunging, find a great vantage point, take it all in, and stay a while after. The laughter, the stories, the shaking hands wrapped around hot drinks, that's all part of it too. And if you've never done it before, maybe this is your year. You don't have to stay in long. Sometimes you just get a splash. You just have to step forward. That's really what this event really represents. The step forward into discomfort, into community, into something bigger than yourself. And that's why year after year, the Polar Bear Plunge continues to define winter at the Delaware beaches. If you want to see more of what life actually looks like here, not just the postcard version in July, but the character of this place in February, subscribe. We share these stories every week across Lewis, Rehoboth Beach, Milton, Bethany, and Ocean City. And if living at the Delaware beaches is part of your story this year, we're always happy to help. We'll see you at the beach, hopefully after the plunge.